Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I have a bunch of DC updates for you today, also including the CW shows. There's been a big production update for all the shows, and it's not looking good. And also, though, there is a ton of Batman updates for you. Not just the Batman from Matt Reeves' Robert Pattinson, but man, there's new animated Batman movie that's coming out. There's a clip for that. There's a new Batman story that's going to be told on a podcast. Of course, the Batman as well. Comments from Robert Pattinson, and also a big theory about one of the characters that will be appearing on the Batman. But there is a lot of Batman. I mean, come on, Batman pretty much won today. There is no debate on that. They're not like the presidential debate. There is no debate. Batman won. Seriously, though, there's only one Superman story at the end of this whole thing. But before we get all into that, I want to thank the members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much to the members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. You guys and girls are the lifeline of the Ping Pong Flix Show. I humbly thank you so much for all your support, for joining my channel. I hope you enjoy all the exclusive access videos. And of course, I have to always thank the rest of you subscribers for subscribing and tuning in pretty much daily for this DC content. All right, now the first topic of the day is CW. CW TV show productions have been delayed. No! So this is coming from Superman and Lois updates at Superman Lois CW. Riverdale, Batwoman shut down over testing delays in British Columbia. Warner Brothers Television has shut down the Vancouver-based Riverdale and Batwoman and is delaying production on Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl, which were supposed to start next week. Batwoman is already starting. They've already shot a bunch, but now because of COVID and testing for COVID, it somehow has been delayed. So, man, at this point, I really hope this doesn't delay any further or push any of the other shows back, and we'll get to finally see something next year. But as of right now, Legends Tomorrow, Supergirl, I think they didn't even mention The Flash still, so I'm wondering if that's part of it as well. We know Doom Patrol Season 3 doesn't start shooting until next year, January 1st in Atlanta, so that's should be okay. But for these CW shows, for fans of the CW shows, we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer until we see more behind the scenes shoots on Legends Tomorrow, Supergirl, and the ongoing Batwoman production. So that is an update on the CW TV shows. All right, now on to pretty much an all-star Batman stream today. It's incredible how much Batman content is today. The first one up is Batman Death in the Family. There's been a clip that's going around, and this is coming from IGN. Shows a surprising choice in the Batman Death in Family interactive animated movie. Now, I'm not going to have the sound on because, copyright issues, but I'm going to play this for you, and you'll probably know also right here. It tells you right there, actually, what this clip is all about. But yeah, it's not it's not too surprising, but it does get to show you a little bit about the how much interaction you get with this. But I'm going to read you the summary anyway for those who don't know what this is about. In 1988, DC fans had the remarkable chance to choose Robin's fate, as thousands of comic readers worldwide voted whether Jason Todd should live or die at the hands of the Joker. Famously, they chose for Jason to die, creating comic book history in the process and shaping the future of the character who eventually was reborn as the vigilante Red Hood. But if you had the chance to do it again, would you make the same choice? Warner Brothers Home Entertainment is about to give you that opportunity. Only this time, you won't be making the choice by calling a 900 number. Remember those? But by clicking your Blu-ray remote. This is also produced by DC, Warner Bros. Animation, DC Showcase, Batman Death in the Family is an anthology of 2019 to 2020 animated shorts anchored by a new extended-length short that adapts the iconic Batman, A Death in the Family comic book storyline by Jim Starlin and Jim Aparo. However, in a fitting twist, the Batman Death in the Family short will take an interactive approach at Warner Brothers Home Entertainment first and offers viewers the opportunity to choose which direction the story goes by making the choices using their remote control. As if that isn't fascinating enough, this take on the classic storyline also boasts some intriguing connections to the popular DC Universe movie Batman Under the Red Hood. As you've seen there, one of the choices that come out is Jason Todd becomes Hush instead, right? Will Thomas Elliott ever be the Hush in any of these animated? Really? Come on. Because I guess they already know that people have read the comics and they already know what happened, but still yet, one of the choices, and I didn't see that coming. I thought it was just, either he lives or dies, but apparently there's these probably, I don't know how many, but different directions these stories can go, making this interactive movie a little bit more compelling than what we initially figured out for this Batman Death in the Family adventure. So only interactive movie on Blu-ray on October 13, 20. That's right next month. I am definitely going to get it, and I'll give you a review on it when I get the chance to. Probably, choose every interaction I could think of in order to get every single experience out of this Batman Death in the Family. All right, more Batman. Like I said, it's a Batman day. The next Batman story I have for you is David Goyer. David S. Goyer is developing a scripted podcast, Batman Unburied, exclusively for Spotify. It will release in 2021. The podcast will feature Batman's more nightmarish villains. Okay, so this is coming from Entertainment Weekly. 15 years ago, David S. Goyer helped inaugurate a new age of Batman, co-writing the screenplay for Batman Begins alongside director Christopher Nolan. Goyer perfected a down-to-earth version of The Dark Knight that has been all the rage ever since. On Tuesday, Warner Brothers announced that Goyer will be returning to the character with a new scripted podcast called Batman Unburied. The audio drama will be the first project to come out of Warner Brothers and DC's recent multi-year agreement with Spotify. I've been a fan of narrative podcasts for some time and was looking for the right story. Returning to Batman seems like the perfect opportunity, Goyer said in a statement. We'll be using the unique advantages of audio to dig into the more nightmarish members of the Dark Knight's Rogues Gallery. Batman Unburied is expected to premiere next year, so story details are still being kept under wraps for now, but in addition to Goyer teasing the involvement of Batman's more nightmarish villains, Warner Brothers also promised that the audio drama will explore the darker aspects of Bruce Wayne's psychology. Batman Unburied isn't Goyer's only comic book adaptation in the pipeline. He's also still working on the upcoming Netflix adaptation of Neil Gaiman's The Sandman. I didn't know that. That could have been a new topic. He's also working on an upcoming Netflix adaptation of Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Wow. Look for Batman Unburied to hit Spotify sometime in 2021. In the meantime, anyone curious what it might sound like? Could check out Marvel's two scripted Wolverine podcasts, The Long Night and The Lost Trail. I didn't know that. I didn't know they had those on Spotify. I mean, I just recently, Ping Pong Flix recently got on Spotify and other podcasts like Anchor, and it's my Ping Pong Flix Hot Dog Hour, so check that out if you want more in-depth episodes from the Ping Pong Flix Show. But that's interesting. I love that. Batman Unburied. More Batman content. I think Dave the Film Junkie should be pretty much, in the jizz right now. So I'm incredible. I hope there's one day it's going to be a lot of Superman content. But for Batman fans, like I said, today is your day. There's a lot of Batman content coming for you, and it's even on podcasts. Like, I never thought about that. That's intriguing. It's on podcasts as well. Now, there's a more story about Batman. There's Batman galore, like I said. Robert Pattinson's or Matt Reeves' Batman has an official website now. There's an official website for The Batman. This is right here. And when you click on it, there's not much. I think there's really only a few things that you can get from here. It loads up. It's just a trailer, and then you X out, and then there is just a home video synopsis. But, they probably have a little bit more info on there, but it's really just a website for the movie. But yeah, The Batman now has an official website if you want to go and check that out. So that's it pretty much for that. Because we're talking about Matt Reeves, the Batman, Robert Pattinson has a few comments about it. Apparently, he enjoys the pressure of being the Batman. This is coming from Digital Spy, also coming from Discussing Film. The Batman star Robert Pattinson has revealed that he's enjoying the pressure that comes with playing such a well-known character. Speaking to Total Film magazine, Pattinson even admitted that he's enjoying the idea that he can mess it up too, a feeling he remembers from shooting the Twilight films. There's a slightly different feeling when you know loads and loads of people are going to watch something you're working on, he said. I weirdly enjoyed it during Twilight, the idea that you can mess it up. I guess I felt confident. I wanted to be on the big stage. This is certainly the big stage the actor is talking about. It doesn't get a whole lot bigger than the Batman, does it? Director Matt Reeves recently gave some hints about what to expect from Pattinson's Batman and how he'll be totally different to what we've seen so far. It's not an origin tale, and you're meeting him in the early days, he said. And for me, what's really important about this iteration is that, a lot of the other stories are about how he had to master his fear and master himself in order to become Batman. And that in that Batman state, he's sort of in his best self, kind of like Christopher Nolan's Batman in any case. He added, I hope what's different about what we're doing is try and do it in exactly that sort of manner. And then, of course, the other things are from the earlier history of the context of him being the world's greatest detective and how we got there. So exactly, that's something that's truly not quite there in a lot of the other Batman films. They've got hints of it and PCs and scenes that have him do that detective work, but for the most part, it hasn't been there in those movies. So now, I'm guessing Robert Pattinson's version of the Batman will definitely do that. He'll be more of a detective in this, working with the police, working with the cops, working with Gotham in order to solve crime and get the bad guy. So that's kind of cool to hear that. And, when you hear Robert Pattinson say things like this for a second, right? He's saying right there, I weirdly enjoyed it during Twilight, the idea that you can mess it up. I guess I felt confident. I wanted to be on the big stage. Clearly, he seems like he's ready to be on the big stage. If he went through all those Twilight films, then I'm willing to bet now with these comments that he kind of likes it, that he may actually go through with the entire trilogy. And, there may be a chance that after the end of the trilogy, if he wants to do more, there's a possibility he could do more as well. And if that's the case, if he even gives that impression to Warner Brothers, I may actually just try to throw him in some kind of Justice League. It'd be weird because it's a different universe, but I don't know. Multiverse stuff going on right now. You never know what's going to happen many years from now, 4, 5, 6, however it takes to get all through the entire trilogy. But with his comments alone, I really feel that the trilogy is definitely happening, like a lot of people have said. I'm excited to see the Batman. It looks awesome. It's an awesome trailer, and I think a lot of people are excited to see the Batman, and I think he's going to pull it off really well. So after that trailer, I'm like, yeah, I want to see the movie already. I really want to see the movie. There's this little cool little fact, if you will. This is coming from DC Verso 1. Actor Jack Baden revealed that Pennyworth and the Batman were being filmed in the same studio before the lockdown. I keep looking out the window and hoping to see Robert Pattinson in the bat suit. I hope they'll invite us over and take a look when we eventually get back. And that's him right there. So that's kind of a cool little nugget for you, that the Pennyworth and Batman are filming in the same studio before the lockdown. So now we're going to talk about the Batman real quick. Something about the plot. This is a theory and a rumor that a YouTuber had put out, and I thought it was pretty compelling, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. but I also understand this could also be a spoiler. So if you don't want to see what's next, please skip to the next chapter, which is a cut Joker scene from David Ayer's Suicide Squad. All right, are you still here? Okay, this is the Batman theory rumor. Barry Keoghan is actually playing a big villain. So this is actually coming from a fellow YouTuber by the name of Heavy Spoilers, and this is a new video. You can go and check it out. But basically the Batman new rumor, Barry may actually be playing a big Batman villain. He explains in this video that Barry has been hired later in the game. He's not in any of the scenes in the trailer with Gordon, which he's supposed to be like his assistant. And I get it, it's only been filmed like 25%, so maybe he didn't have time, maybe he was shooting something else, maybe he was preparing for Eternals, I don't know, but he wasn't there until later on. And according to Heavy Spoilers, he's had some contacts that there is a certain actor who is not playing, who is saying he's playing, or who's not playing the character that you think he's playing. That Barry is not actually playing Officer Stanley Merkel, like is said in the description for the Batman, or even in the synopsis on the official Batman website, that is actually a trick. That's actually trying to blind you from the actual character that he's going to play, which he thinks, Heavy Spoiler thinks, that it's possibly Joker or even Mad Hatter. Now, Mad Hatter has been rumored, and for a lot of people have already stated that he is indeed one of the villains in the movie, along with Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which they're saying the Carver brothers are actually playing Tweedledee and Tweedledum, twins, you know. So Mad Hatter is supposed to be in this movie, along with possibly a cameo of Joker. And so Barry, Heavy Spoilers thinks that Barry Keoghan is supposed to be either Joker or Mad Hatter. There's also, rumors that, what about Firefly? It could be Firefly as well. Yeah, sure, any of those characters. But basically, he's not actually playing Stanley Merkel. He's actually playing a villain. Now, he has no real evidence for this, by the way. He just has the fact that he got a clue from somebody on the set saying that one of the actors is not playing who they're saying they're playing, and also the fact that before, in the Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, Liam Neeson was actually Ra's al Ghul, and that was also a hidden thing also for the filming as well. So that could be. I mean, actors do that, right? They kind of lie and hide who they are. I mean, I even remember J.J. Abrams' Star Trek Into Darkness. Benedict Cumberbatch was actually Khan, but they named him something else to keep you from seeing that twist. So like I said, this may not be true at all. He could just be Stanley Merkel, right? But I guess what he's trying to say is that there may be, not everything is as it seems on the Batman, and it's possible that some of these guys aren't actually playing who they say they're playing, and they're trying to blind us by casting them in a certain role. So that's intriguing. I think that would be kind of a cool thing to go into, not knowing really of who's who and who could be what, which would add to the mystery, which would add to the Batman trying to be the detective, the world's greatest detective, and solve those types of mysteries. So that's awesome. I think that's a great way and a pretty good twist if any of that is true. But like any movie, there's always rumors going around on who's going to play who, and we never know, right, until we actually see the movie. And sometimes none of that is true, and sometimes some of it is true. So we'll have to wait and find out for Matt Reeves, the Batman. All right, now that that's over, let's get out of the Batman a little bit with a semi-Batman villain. That Batman villain is Joker. Apparently, there was a cut Joker scene from David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Now, I didn't actually see this before. I know a whole bunch of scenes that were cut from David Ayer's Suicide Squad, and this account put out a ton of different things that were cut. But there was one that I did not see and have never read before, and I thought that was kind of interesting to pull up. This is coming from the actor Jim Parak or Parak. I don't know how you really pronounce his last name. He plays Johnny Frost, the henchman of Joker in Suicide Squad. You'll probably see him before. He's like the suit, beard, and mustache. He said this, which scene, when someone asked, which scene did I like most that didn't make it into the movie? He said, we did a sequence where we went to a judge's house and Mr. J was in his bed waiting for him as I led him at gunpoint into his bedchamber and showed him his wife on an iPad in a rather precarious situation. Then boss had a persuasive chat with him and he gave us information or access to lab that we eventually raided. So which scenes were cut out and why? It's hard to recall all of them. There were plenty of scenes cut out. The why is not my business, but there was a common thread running through most of the cutout scenes. The darker and more psychologically X-rated the scene, the more likely that it ended up cut for the movie. So that's even more just upsetting to see things like that happen. Things cut out of the movie because it was just too dark. It was too scary. Apparently, Warner Brothers really had no balls back then or something. They really wanted to try to make it as much kid-friendly as possible for the DC. And it's so unfortunate to see those big scenes cut out, Joker scenes, added context scenes, or showing that he's a much scarier, much more villainous than how he was in the actual movie. So yes, another Jared Leto as Joker scene cut out, unfortunately, and a lot of those scenes, the darker, more psychologically X-rated scenes. Man, I can't wait to see David Ayer's Suicide Squad, and it can't get here soon enough. So HBO Max, Jason Kilar, come on, man, just green light that thing already. I would love to see David Ayer's Suicide Squad. All right, now probably for the last topic of the day, which is probably the only time we'll have Superman for a while. A lot of Batman, but Henry Cavill lied for Justice League. What am I talking about? You're like, what? What are you talking about, Chris? What do you mean he lied? All right, this is coming from Screen Rant. Henry Cavill admits he was told to lie about Superman being in Justice League. I'm going to read a few things for you here. Henry Cavill admits that he was told to lie about Superman's presence in Justice League. While still appearing with the rest of the cast on the film's press tour, Cavill's Man of Steel was killed at the end of BVS, as you all know, setting in motion events of Justice League. Yeah, we all know that. Unsurprisingly, DC and Warner Brothers played as coy as possible about Cavill's role in Justice League heading into the film's 2017 theatrical release, which I remembered. They're like, why don't you just show him? He's Superman. Why don't you just show him? We all know he's alive. We saw the dirt rise. Come on. But of course, during a recent interview on the Empire podcast, Cavill says that promoting the film while having to keep Superman's role in it a secret was a predictably awkward experience. Cavill looked back on the Justice League press tour and discussed his reaction to being told to lie about Superman's involvement in the film, saying, yeah, it was one of those weird situations where I guess no one really knew what they wanted. And it was like, hey, we need Superman on the press tour, but let's not tell anyone he's in the movie. I was like, okay, well, it's going to be super awkward for me, guys. Thank you for giving me an impossible scenario, which I'm just going to say to people, well, yeah, I was here for moral support. I made the tea for an entire movie. I'm pretty sure that no one bought it, right? So, oh boy, that is just crazy. So Cavill's comments about Justice League's marketing shows that the film's behind-the-scenes drama extended beyond just the reshoots led by Joss Whedon. The studio had no real plan in place for what the superhero movie should be or what kind of audiences it wanted to attract for the film. The strategy also raises questions about how Warner Brothers feels about Cavill as a leading man. It needed Cavill to help sell Justice League, yet still has not committed to a Man of Steel sequel or extending Cavill's DCEU contract. A movie featuring Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman shouldn't need much marketing to be a hit. Yet Justice League struggled to connect with comic book fans and general audiences. However, it seems that Warner Brothers here, but they haven't learned the lessons. Warner Max has intense promotion the past few months for the HBO Max release of Zack Snyder's Justice League cut, right? So I get it. I mean, it's just confusing. It really is. Like, to have him come on set, come onto the press tour, and they're like, why am I on the press tour if you're trying to hide the fact that I'm not in the movie? Like, I'm dead, right? So why even hide? I even questioned that as well. I mean, I remember, I mean, if you go back to San Diego Comic-Con 2016 or 2017, there was a promotion, right? Zack Snyder put it out himself. He put this picture out out on the for the panel to show that Superman is in the movie. He threw it out there. There it is. There's Superman in the movie. I mean, he even said it on the Real Emotion podcast when he came on, that he said that he didn't get why that Warner Brothers was trying to hide the fact that he was in the movie. He knew in full well that he wasn't going to hide that Superman was in the movie because it's how he gets resurrected. That was the question, not the fact that he's in the movie. So Warner Brothers wanted to hide that. And ultimately, in my mind, like before Justice League, before we knew what happened and stuff, I remember making videos about, it may have made a bigger box office bang if you had just said that Superman was in the movie, or even had him on the posters. Because for people who are not following this stuff, they're looking at the posters like, that's not Justice League, there's no Superman in it. If Batman and Superman was sold, then they're going to be like, I want to see Superman in it. And that initial box office opening weekend, which came in under $100 million opening weekend for a big franchise IP movie, was terrible, right? I mean, and I thought that initial reactions, because one, nobody went to watch it maybe 2 or 3 times, possibly. Well, not no one, but many people, especially the fans, the Zack Snyder's fans. But two, they didn't think there was Superman in the movie, right? I mean, remember that kid that was at a con and he was crying, and Jason Momoa had to tell him, "Hey, don't worry, man. Don't worry, kid. Superman's in the movie." He had to tell him that. Imagine that. Like, they're kids that love Superman, and they wanted to see Superman back. I even remember my son's like, "Is Superman in the movie? Like, I only see Batman. I want to see Superman. I want to know if he's alive." Or they didn't even want to see it because, he died. That's it. No, Superman's in the movie. And so I think that is part of Warner Brothers' blunder. And just as dumb. If they wanted to hide the fact that Superman was in a movie, if they wanted to be that big twist, why'd you invite Henry Cavill on the press tour, you dummies? Why? So I don't know. I think at that time, like just the whole Justice League situation, there was just so many creative heads that were trying to fight each other, and they're not really jiving, promotional, marketing, and otherwise. That I hope that doesn't come back again. I hope that there's a clear picture from the starting production to the end of the production to the marketing of what each person wants for this film, and how to market this film and what they have, right? So I think that would be pretty awesome for, from now on, guys. All right, Warner Brothers. But in addition to that, he lied. He lied. And because of NDAs and stuff like that, in the studio told him so. So that is something that we don't hear quite often, or we do hear it, but we kind of ignore it. Like, Jason Momoa was Aquaman for the longest time, and you couldn't say anything, right? So it really opens your mind up to, interviews and things with these actors and actresses on whether what they're hiding or they're blatantly lying because they're told to do so. Like the additional photography. Even if, possible Henry Cavill got a call right after the interviews over at Enola Holmes, or he blatantly lied about it because of NDAs, because his, PR told him not to, because, Zack Snyder said not to, whatever, right? So I think we should always take these words of them when they say no or yes or things like that with a grain of salt, because there's always something more to what they're trying to say. So in my mind, for me, I'm just thinking additional photography is a yes, and he's going to be Superman for a few more times, a few more movies. So I'm pretty confident in that. these stories like this, where the actor blatantly tells false things because they're told to, is probably something evident to the fact that there's a lot of things that they're hiding, and there's probably things that they cannot say, contracts, galore, and multiple movie deals and stuff like that. I think that is very much a possibility. So crossing our fingers and toes and everything else. All right, well, that is it for this pretty much an entire Batman-centric show today, with a little bit of Superman and some CW to, sprinkle on top. So like I said, if you love this daily dose of DC content from movies, shows, and video games, click that like button right now. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Keep this hot dog light on. And get some shirts below. And I'll see you next time.